Now we actually get to my favorite team this offseason, who's been the Denver Nuggets. I mean, I have absolutely loved what this team has done. I mean, they've been close to they won the championship in 2023. They had a great playoff run, elite offense. And the last 2 years they've struggled in the playoffs from the standpoint that they haven't been super healthy. They're not deep, so they're basically just relying on their starting lineup and they've just had some close games. They had close game 7 in 2024. They lost to the Timberwolves at home. They should have won that game. They're up 20. And then last year they just got blown out by the Thunder because or this year they got blown out by the Thunder because they just they didn't have it. I mean, Aaron Gordon was hurt, Jamal Murray was they just didn't have enough depth. The Thunder were a better team. It is what it is. But this team has significantly improved this offseason. They were able to take a bad contract in Michael Porter Jr., making $38 million a year, and replacing him with Cam Johnson, who's a very has some similarities to MPJ, but also he's a better defender. He's a little more engaged. He's a little more reliable. So I think it's a great fit. You're able to shed $17 million in cap space, so that's great. And that allowed them to make other moves. They were able to get Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jonas Valančiūnas. I mean, you think about the Nuggets' problems the last few years. What has it been in the playoffs? They're so reliant on their starting lineup. They have Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Jokic. They had MPJ and Christian Brown. Those 5 guys, they were so reliant on them because they didn't have any depth. Yes, they had Russell Westbrook. They had a few guys like throughout the years, but they were really reliant on that starting 5, which was a great starting 5. But as we saw with the Lakers that last year, like you need to have depth. You watch the Pacers, you watch the Thunder, you look at the Rockets now. To win in today's NBA, you need depth. And they were able to do that. They were able to get a younger player in Cam Johnson who plays better defense, is just more like mentally engaged in the game than MPJ sometimes. MPJ has a ton of talent, so he's a great player too. But I think that you're able to replace that. You're able to get Jonas Valanciunas to be a backup center for Jokic. They haven't had a backup center in ages. I don't know. So they finally are able to take some pressure off Jokic, be able to give him 7 to 8 minutes here and there to just take a breather, get his energy back because he's by far the best player in the league, Jokic. So that's a big move that not a lot of people are going to talk about, but that Jonas Valanciunas move I really like. Tim Hardaway Jr. just gives you some pop off the bench. He can hit some shots. He can get hot here and there, kind of like the Jamal Murray element where he can just get hot and kind of carry you for like a quarter. I kind of like that for Tim Hardaway Jr. It gives you just a good kind of like streaky score off the bench. I kind of like it. And Bruce Brown, like when he was on the Nuggets, like he was just a winner. Like he just fit into the system. He gets some big rebounds. He makes some big plays. Just he's like that intangible guy. So I really like what they did this offseason. Now they have more depth. Now they have like 7 to 8 guys that they can trust instead of just 5. So that was a big deal for Denver. And I'll get to this a bit later, but if I was going to pick any team to win the championship next year, right now, I'm taking the Nuggets. Like this team, you could talk about the Thunder, you could talk about the Rockets, you could talk about the teams in the East and how the East is weaker, and I get it. But this Nuggets team that had tons of flaws, Aaron Gordon was basically playing on a torn hamstring. They had 5 to 6 players at best. They took that Thunder team to 7 games. They didn't even play that great in the series. Jokic had a few bad games in a row, which he never does. So they're a problem just because how good Jokic is, and now they just fixed all their problems. All their problems were MPJ's not healthy and he's not playing well. You get Cam Johnson now, like that's a big fix. You didn't have a backup center. Now you have Jonas Valanciunas. You didn't have that much depth. Now you get Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway Jr. and those other 2 guys. Like it was a big offseason in Denver, and I really think that they can challenge for a title next year. I'm really high on Denver, so we'll see if they're able to stay healthy, all that kind of stuff, but I really like what they did.